This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Finance Minister Grant Robertson delivered a multi-billion-dollar budget in Parliament this afternoon. Staff at Lakes District Hospital in Frankton started moving into their new purpose-built facility last week. And Mrs Heron's cottage on the west bank of Lake Roxburgh is being preserved for future generations. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The new Dunedin Hospital took a giant step forward this afternoon, with the government setting aside the funding for the 10-year billion-dollar-plus project as part of the budget. Finance Minister Grant Robertson says the funding will be set aside and apportioned over the life of the project. There's also been $1 billion set aside to redevelop the rail system, including $375 million for new wagons and locomotives.
The nation's first wellbeing budget has been delivered in Parliament. Finance Minister Grant Robertson says it's all about people living full lives.
To have the capabilities to do this requires tackling the long-term challenges we face as a country.
Mental health and rail are two major benefactors of the government's budget 2019-2020. $1 billion has been promised to rail development nationwide, including $375 million for new trains and carriages.
The previous government took a hands-off approach and left rail in a state of managed decline. Today, we begin to turn this around. Budget 2019 invests more than $1 billion over the next 2 years in modernising Kiwi Rail.
Mental health was the largest financial winner of the budget following the mental health inquiry. As is traditional, Leader of the Opposition Simon Bridges rebutted the budget, taking the Finance Minister to task.
It's as if other governments haven't had this at the heart of what they've been doing for decades and decades. And it is a nonsense, Mr Speaker.
As Speaker Trevor Mallard called for order when Winston Peters took offence at being called old naughty by Simon Bridges, referring to him as young stupid.
Thank heavens we stopped that. You know, rail's in our national interest. And as the Prime Minister said, it makes our roads safer. It gets the massive leviathans going down the roads to be less frequent on the roads. It gives us a chance to have a balanced, strategic transport policy of sea, road and rail.
Budget 2019-2020 is set to be read in the House 3 times in order to become law. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Firefighters are converging on Dunedin Private School Columba College after reports of a fire. Fire and Emergency New Zealand spokesman Brent Dunn says a crew from Roslyn arrived at the school shortly after 4 p.m. this afternoon to report of a light fitting on fire in the second story of the Marsh Sports Centre. Witnesses say more fire appliances arrived at the private girls' college soon after. If you thought moving house was hard, try moving an emergency department. Staff at Lakes District Hospital in Frankton started moving into their new purpose-built facility last week, 9 years after it was promised.
An operation of a different kind at Lakes District Hospital. Contractors putting the finishing touches on the $6.5 million hospital upgrade 8 months after the groundwork started. Charge Nurse Manager Jenny Burt says the new emergency department is first class.
Well, it's a purpose-built emergency department. Our other department has sort of grown with the times as we've needed it. This has been designed specifically for top-rate emergency care.
Clinical staff have been training in the department over the past week. The new department's first patient was treated on Tuesday in state-of-the-art conditions.
We have oxygen and suction provided to every bay. We have much more room. We have proper isolation facilities, and we have 2 state-of-the-art resuscitation rooms.
The new wing, built by Lee's Construction, features 9 beds, up from 7, and another will be added as part of the second stage of the upgrade.
The CT scanner and the new district nurses' offices are due to be finished within the next couple of weeks, which will be a huge difference to us here, and then remodelling of the district nurses' office into telemedicine suites and the remodelling of the administration area.
The project's expected to be completed in September in Queenstown, the South Today.
It appears Mother Nature might be on time this year, bringing a good dumping of snow for many parts of Otago and Southland for the start of winter. Met Service say a strong and cold southerly flow could bring snow to the ranges of the South Island during Saturday and early Sunday. It's urging people travelling this long weekend to be aware roads could be affected. The wintry blast is likely to be welcome news for ski field operators, with many set to open this weekend. A humble reminder of the gold rush is being preserved for future generations. Mrs Heron's cottage on the west bank of Lake Roxburgh is the sole survivor of the former 14-mile beach mining community, a hive of activity in the early years of gold mining.
Preserving a rare slice of Central Otago's gold mining history, Mrs Heron's cottage on the west bank of Lake Roxburgh is the sole survivor of the former 14-mile beach gold mining community dating from the 1860s.
It's very poor stonework. It's just the typical Celtic style, but it's just been thrown up to last a few years, but it's lasted well past that, of course.
The restoration work's been funded by Contact Energy, which has an agreement with Heritage New Zealand to work together to manage archaeological sites along the Clutha.
And it's going to be a great preservation of what's possibly the most significant piece of archaeological structure within the Roxburgh Gorge.
Heritage builder Chris Naylor says the cottage is an amalgamation of a few different eras.
In the 1930s, when the gold miners came back up through and reworked the area, they chucked another bit on, but they just used, the way they've set the thing up is they've got internal gutters which have rotted out, so that every time it rains or even just dew, you're getting water pouring into the building.
The cottage was originally home to Henry and Harriet Heron, who worked a gold mining claim at 14 Mile Beach below the cottage at the base of the gorge.
One of the great sort of stories is that he used to be paid in gold, and he every night used to just put this gold somewhere in a camp oven on about a 40-minute walk. And unfortunately he died instantly, and no one ever knew where the gold was kept. There's still sometimes people look for it today, but somewhere is a camp oven full of gold.
Or it could be underwater along with other mining sites and dwellings after the construction of the Roxburgh Dam in the 50s and the subsequent flooding of the gorge. Either way, it makes the preservation of Mrs Heron's cottage even more important. In Roxburgh, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. Things look positive for the Waitaki district economy as a major airline signs with the New Zealand Airline Academy. And we catch a performance from the Royal New Zealand Navy Band. So catch you after the break.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent. And where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
It's on again, the Regent Theatre 24-hour book sale, starting noon 7th of June. Don't miss out. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
The season has changed, and at Alec Campbell Menswear, in our 3 stores, Cromwell, South Dunedin and Mosgiel, we have it covered. Check out these jackets. They'll keep you warm and dry and stylish. Of course, we're known for our fashion shirts, but in the winter we do have our lovely warm shirts. Look at them all. And we're known for our great range of winter knitwear too. Don't forget our stretch moleskins, 6 colours.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
We'll keep you warm and dry and looking just great.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Welcome back. Up to $5 million could be injected into the Waitaki economy after the New Zealand Airline Academy inked a training deal with budget carrier Air Asia India this week. The fledgling Oamaru Airport-based flight school has ratified the agreement to bring 50 trainee pilots to New Zealand in the agreement's first year. The first batch of 15 trainees are expected to arrive in August. Waitaki Mayor Gary Kircher travelled to India for the announcement to show the district's support for the flight school's new partnership and training program. Dunedin Knights were treated to melodic delights by the Royal New Zealand Navy Band's top brass yesterday. Bystanders applaud as band members perform in the Exchange in Dunedin as part of a nationwide schools tour. The ensemble holds public and school concert tours within New Zealand 3 or 4 times a year. And the band is in demand both locally and internationally. The Devonport-based ensemble is now heading south to perform at schools in Bluff and Invercargill tomorrow. The competition for playoff spots in Dunedin Premier Club rugby competition is heating up. In this week's ODT Rugby Chat, Paul Dyer looks at this week's matchups with university players Jack McHugh and Kilapati Leah.
Righto, boys, look, we'll move on to this weekend's game. We'll leave the Sharks varsity game to last because that'll be one we need to talk about. So I've got Jack McHugh, the captain, and I've got Kilapati Lee, the big front row. So welcome along, boys. Killy, we'll start with you. And just remember that Killy, by the way, this week is going up against me as one of the props in the picking competition on Friday. So there's a lot of pressure going on him. I think I'm ahead by 10 or 15 points. But of course, if I lose this competition, God forsake, if I lose this competition, we have to shout all those props a night out at Spates Brewery and the Spates Ale House. So there's a lot riding on your shoulders, Kelly. So, mate, we'll start with you. So GI are at home to Zingaree. Should be pretty clear-cut, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think GI are too strong.
Too strong?
After last week.
Okay, Jack, we'll bring you in. This is probably the biggest game, Southern and Harbour in town.
Southern and Harbour, I'm going to have to run with Southern for that game.
You're taking Southern?
I'm going to take Southern.
Okay. So why are you taking Southern?
Oh, I just feel like Gooseman Honak, Axel, the big lock forward, he's been playing pretty good footy. And I actually bumped into him yesterday and he says the boys are G'd up for this game.
They're pumped up?
Yeah, they're pumped up.
Okay, and Kelly, Tyree and Kaikra? Again, this is another one. This is out. This is out at the Alva pit, so this will be an interesting game.
I've got a feeling Tyree.
You're going to pick Tyree?
Yeah.
Jesus. So why are you thinking Tyree? They're solid. They've been solid this year.
Even after last week, I talked to Ben Morris. He said the boys, even though they got the win, they were a bit flaky. So I think they'll be ready to go.
Okay, and let's come on to the big game. Well, the big game for you boys anyway. The Sharks are at home to Varsity. I'll get an opinion, because you guys, there's a bit of hurt going on here, I'd imagine, because you lost the Jonathan Keogh your last time up. I think you were both playing. You came on. Did you come on?
I was off the bench.
You came off the bench. And you were the captain, so losing that trophy is not a great way to go back into your club rooms. So we'll get an opinion from both. So what are you thinking, Kelly? I mean, where do you beat the Sharks this weekend?
Well, it's definitely going to start up front, as it always does. You know, they got the best of us last time. They were bloody first, so we're going to have to be up another level this week.
So up front for you, and what are you thinking?
I guess out wide then. Gotta win it out wide. As long as we win it out wide, then we're going all right.
Right, look, so there it is. That's for this weekend. I'll just quickly run through. So GI and Zingaree, that's a no-brainer. It'll be 13 plus to GI. Southern and Harbour. Look, Southern are okay. I just think Harbour, they've got all their players back this week. I think they'll be too strong. I think they win by a couple. And Tyree versus Kaikorai. Kaikorai certainly got a stronger scrum than Tyree. Like, I'm picking Kaikorai just. Dunedin have got absolutely no players this weekend. I hear that they are really stretching. They could lose by 150, but as you know, I'll take them to win by 1 because we've got God on our side. And we'll be back with you next week.
After the break on the South Today, Arrowtown students learn about air pollution and environmentally friendlier ways to stay warm over winter. And we see what's in store with tomorrow's weather, so stay with us.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
It's on again, the Regent Theatre 24-hour book sale, starting noon 7th of June. Don't miss out.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Autumn is here and it's too late to sow seed. But don't despair, Ready Lawn is the answer to all your garden woes. Call Ready Lawn today on 027 22 88 190.
The season has changed, and at Alec Campbell Menswear, in our 3 stores, Cromwell, South Dunedin and Mosgiel, we have it covered. Check out these jackets. They'll keep you warm and dry and stylish. Of course, we're known for our fashion shirts, but in the winter we do have our lovely warm shirts. Look at them all. And we're known for our great range of winter knitwear too. Don't forget our stretch moleskins, 6 colours.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Will keep you warm and dry and looking just great.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Ricky here from Beds R Us Dunedin, your local sleep specialists. Come in and try our huge touchscreen sleep selector, taking the hard work out of choosing the right bed for you. See you here.
Thanks for staying with us. Blowing up balloons is usually a sign of celebration, but Arrowtown students are learning the town's air pollution is no reason to party. About 80 students from Year 8 have carried out experiments to test the school's air quality, learning about the impacts of breathing in air pollution, as well as healthy heating habits.
A lot of hot air about hot air. This group of Arrowtown students helping scientists chart and analyse air quality data.
And so far this morning they've looked at a range of experiments to study air quality and air particles, measuring, and also looked at lung capacity. So they've done a variety of things.
It's part of a NIWA research program aimed at inspiring the Arrowtown community to reduce its notoriously high levels of air pollution. Scholes says the kids are learning in a very real and hands-on way, tackling a form of pollution which isn't always visible.
But also they're a great link to the rest of the community, to their parents. You know, it helps get everybody on board. You know, it makes the problem more visible, because when you're measuring air quality, it's not something that's always visible. It's easy to see plastic pollution. It's not necessarily easy to see air pollution.
NIWA's principal air quality scientist, Dr. Ian Longley, says about 50 devices will be placed on power poles and a further 90 will be installed in people's homes over a 3-month period.
We can actually empower the community itself to be involved and take ownership of the problem. So we're working here now in Arrowtown. This is actually the 5th year of the project. We've done some trial work in Rangiora and Alexandra, but that's really been just testing the technology. This is the place where we're really starting to engage with the community and see if this sort of monitoring technology can make a difference to these communities to solve their air quality problem.
The region's air pollution is mostly caused by inefficient heating systems like outdated wood burners and burning wet wood and coal. Where the pupils are using low-tech balloons at this stage, Ian Longley says the next step is using professional instruments which aim to collate a sharper picture.
We've been designing small sensors that cost only a couple of $100, so we can put large numbers of them around town and get a lot more detailed information, which is more meaningful to the people who know the streets.
In the past, only one high-tech monitor was operated by the Otago Regional Council to collate air data. Air pollution has been an issue for many years around central Otago, with Southern District Health Board figures showing about 34 children are admitted to hospital each year with a health condition partly caused by poor air quality. In Arrowtown, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Finance Minister Grant Robertson delivered the government's budget for the coming year in Parliament this afternoon. Staff at Lake District Hospital in Frankton started moving into their new purpose-built facility last week. And Mrs Heron's cottage on the west bank of Lake Roxburgh is being preserved for future generations. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry Stewart. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Well, of course, the budget. Everybody's talking about the budget, aren't they? Even before the budget, actually. But anyway, rail was one of the big winners in the budget, with $1.4 billion allocated to Kiwi Rail over the next 2 years. Now, this could be great news for Dunedin and the Hillside workshops. So we have reaction to that interesting development and extensive coverage from reporter Mike Houlihan and our other reporting, the rest of our reporting team in a special 2-page budget special. So everything you want to know about the budget, come and see us.
Can't wait.
We'll sort it out. Port Otago has gifted land to the University of Otago in Friart Street at the waterfront, so interesting development there. And annual plan deliberations, of course, continued today with one councillor urging or calling for faster action on climate change from the council. Big sports lift out tomorrow, a 12-page lift out tomorrow being Friday. Tony Brown, who has reported in the ODT last week, it's been confirmed that he is returning to the Highlanders in a coaching role. He's going to be an assistant coach at the Highlanders, so that's great news for that side, because Tony Brown's had success at that level and particularly with the target team. So good
Fantastic.
move.
Yeah, great. So there's something for everyone in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the situation, very cold air in a strong southwesterly airstream arrives tomorrow, with snow to low levels inland tomorrow night and a risk of gale force winds about the coast. Although the weather should be clearing up on Sunday, it will remain very cold and rather windy for the rest of the long weekend. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect rain with a high of 11 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim are due for rain also, and 15 degrees. Moving to Canterbury, planned for a cloudy day and 15 in Kaikoura and 14 in Christchurch, while Ashburton is rainy with a high of 12. Looking at the southern towns, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect increasing southwesterlies and showers. The Catlins aims for a high of 9 degrees, while Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore head for 8. Travelling westward to the Central Lakes, time to dust off your ski wear as snow is due to arrive. Alexandra, Wanaka, Queenstown and Te Anau can all expect highs of 8 degrees. Looking to the northern towns along the coast, Oamaru and Timaru are in for gusty northwesterlies, some rain and a high of 11 degrees for Timaru. Oamaru is slightly cooler with 10. Inland to Omarama and Twizel, wintry showers, strong northwesterlies and rain will be with you from early tomorrow morning, looking at a high of 9 degrees. In Dunedin tonight, it is mostly cloudy with northerlies dying out and an overnight low of 7 degrees. Cloudy, dry and cool tomorrow at first with light variable winds, but wintry showers will develop during the afternoon with much colder southwesterlies. Strong winds at night with snow flurries above 200 metres, looking at a high of 9 and a low of 4. And it's very cold on Saturday with sleety showers and snow showers above 200 metres, followed with fresh and gusty southwesterlies. Make sure you wrap up if attending the University of Otago's 150th celebrations, aiming for a high of 7 and a chilly low of 3. Heading to Invercargill, rain easing to showers tonight with cold southwesterlies freshening and an overnight low of 6. It's very cold tomorrow with hail and sleet showers. Strong to near gale force southwest winds, a high of 7 and a low of 3. And Saturday, hail and sleet showers with a high of 6. So don't forget your mittens for the very low, cold 2 degrees low. And that's all from the South Today team for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.